Welcome to the Now and Next. Today, we're examining the heavy rainfall that's been affecting South Asia in 2024. We'll explore what's causing this surge in rainfall, its immediate and long-term effects on the environment and living beings, and the likelihood of such events increasing in the future. Is this a one-off disaster, or a sign of things to come? Let's find out. This year, regions across South Asia have seen unprecedented rains. Heavy monsoons and torrential downpours have caused widespread flooding and landslides, severely impacting millions. But why are we seeing this increase in rainfall? It comes down to a combination of natural and human-made factors, including monsoon dynamics. The monsoon system is essential for South Asia's climate, but in 2024, we've seen an unusually intense monsoon season, which is causing extreme weather. El Niño effect. 2024 is marked by the El Niño phenomenon. This periodic warming of ocean waters in the Pacific changes weather patterns globally, often leading to heavier than usual monsoons in South Asia. Climate change. Perhaps the most critical factor is climate change. As global temperatures rise, more water evaporates from oceans and land, leading to heavier rainfall. Warmer air also holds more moisture, which results in more intense storms and downpours. Causes: natural and human-induced factors. To better understand the cause of this year's heavy rains, let's break it down further. Rising ocean temperatures, warming oceans, especially in the Indian Ocean, are one of the primary drivers. Warmer water means more moisture in the atmosphere, leading to stronger storms and heavier rains. Deforestation and land degradation. Human activity has also contributed significantly. Deforestation in the Himalayas and other regions means that natural barriers, which once helped absorb rainwater, are now gone. This increases runoff and worsens flooding. Urbanization. Rapid urbanization and construction without proper drainage systems have turned cities into concrete jungles, which can't absorb heavy rains. This leads to flash flooding, as we've seen in places like Mumbai and Kathmandu. Greenhouse gas emissions. The continuous burning of fossil fuels is causing global temperatures to rise. These higher temperatures intensify the water cycle, leading to extreme weather conditions, including heavier rainfall and more frequent storms. Effects on living beings. While the environment suffers, it's the living beings, both humans and wildlife, who feel the most immediate and devastating impacts. The heavy rains of 2024 have had far-reaching effects on human populations, animals, and entire ecosystems. Human displacement. Millions of people across India and Nepal have been displaced by floods. Villages have been submerged, homes destroyed, and entire communities are now living in relief camps. Many have lost not just their homes, but their livelihoods. Health impacts. The risk of waterborne diseases like cholera, typhoid, and diarrhea increases drastically during floods. Contaminated water supplies and poor sanitation conditions in flooded areas lead to outbreaks, particularly affecting vulnerable groups like children and the elderly. Food security. The agricultural sector has been hit hard, as fields have been flooded, destroying crops and livestock. This leads to food shortages, price hikes, and a looming threat of famine in some regions. Mental health. In addition to the physical impacts, the psychological toll on those affected is immense. Flood victims face trauma, anxiety, and uncertainty about their futures. The heavy rains also take a significant toll on the environment, disrupting ecosystems, damaging natural resources, and contributing to long-term environmental degradation. Flooding of rivers and wetlands. Excessive rainfall causes rivers to overflow, flooding wetlands and low-lying areas. While wetlands act as natural buffers, too much water can overwhelm them, leading to habitat loss and damage to biodiversity. deforestation and soil erosion. The already vulnerable regions, especially in the Himalayan foothills, experience massive soil erosion due to heavy rainfall. This not only leads to landslides but also reduces soil fertility, impacting future agricultural yields. Wildlife displacement. Wildlife, particularly in forested and riverine areas, are displaced as their habitats are submerged. Animals are forced to migrate to higher ground, often coming into contact with human settlements, leading to human-wildlife conflict. Long-term ecological changes. The floodwaters also wash away topsoil, rich in nutrients, which impacts vegetation growth and forest regeneration. This leads to long-term ecological imbalance, where certain species might not recover, causing shifts in biodiversity. Unfortunately, the heavy rains of 2024 are unlikely to be an isolated event. If we continue on the current path of climate change and environmental degradation, scientists predict that extreme rainfall events will become more frequent and severe. Increased frequency of heavy rainfall. By mid-century, South Asia could see a 20 to 30% increase in the number of extreme rainfall days. This means that floods could become a more regular occurrence. Longer and more intense monsoon seasons. Monsoon seasons may extend in duration, with rains becoming more unpredictable. While some areas could experience droughts, others may face incessant flooding. Impact on water resources. Rising temperatures and altered rainfall patterns will disrupt water resources, making it harder to manage floods while ensuring that water is available for drinking and agriculture during dry spells. While the outlook seems challenging, there are ways to adapt and mitigate the impact of heavy rainfall and climate change. Here are some solutions that can help reduce future risks. Building climate-resilient infrastructure. Governments and local authorities are increasingly focused on climate-resilient infrastructure. This includes better drainage systems, flood barriers, and designing urban areas with natural spaces to absorb rainfall. Forest restoration and sustainable land use. Afforestation and sustainable farming practices can help reduce soil erosion and improve water retention in the land. Forests play a critical role in mitigating the impact of extreme weather by acting as natural water filters. Early warning systems. Investment in early warning systems can help communities prepare for heavy rainfall and floods, reducing the loss of life and property damage. Reducing carbon emissions. Addressing the root cause, climate change, is vital. The world must come together to cut greenhouse gas emissions, transition to renewable energy, and adhere to international climate agreements like the Paris Agreement. As we've seen, the heavy rains in 2024 are part of a broader pattern linked to climate change and environmental degradation. Their effects are felt by millions, both humans and wildlife. But by taking action now, we can still turn the tide and build a more resilient future. Thank you for watching this episode of The Now and Next. Make sure to subscribe for more updates on the challenges and opportunities shaping our world.